That source also revealed what was inside the truck: explosives that included fireworks, gas tanks, and camping fuel, and authorities believe that that was connected to a detonation system controlled by the driver. We're also hearing this same sentiment from Elon Musk, who tweeted out that they have now confirmed that the explosion was caused by very large fireworks and/or a bomb carried in the bed of the rented Cybertruck and is unrelated to the vehicle itself. So he was clear to say that this was not an issue with the Cybertruck. And the sheriff also earlier said that they are checking for secondary devices. They're investigating many different leads, but he was clear to say that there does not appear to be any further threat to the Las Vegas community.
All right, we need to have a serious conversation for a second that goes beyond politics, because I have some breaking news that I want to run down with you guys, but I also want to talk about where we go from here. Because the new year has barely started, and we've already witnessed two tragic events that remind us of just how dangerous and divided the world has become. How divided America has become when it really doesn't need to be that way. So, just to update you guys, we learned that the death toll from the New Orleans vehicle attack, the truck attack, is now 15. That's 15 people who were celebrating the new year, who I'm sure had goals and aspirations that they now can't realize. And America shouldn't be like that. I mean, for all of our flaws with our healthcare system, with our institutions and our politicians, we should be able to have a guaranteed level of safety where we go outside and we're not worried about terrorist attacks or school shootings or explosions. And then we learn that right after this happened, 7 people were injured and 1 person died after a Tesla Cybertruck that appeared to be carrying fireworks and explosives caught fire outside of President-elect Donald Trump's Las Vegas hotel. And we do have another update here. This article says, according to a law enforcement official, the Cybertruck was rented via the Turo app and appeared to have a load of fireworks. Now it's interesting because the truck in the New Orleans attack was also rented using the Turo app. Authorities are still investigating this, so we do not want to draw any conclusions this early. It's still all a developing story, but CNN is now reporting the same exact thing. Take a look.
But we have new reporting. Our John Miller is actually kind of connecting some of the dots here. He heard from a law enforcement official close to the investigation that the Cybertruck was actually rented from Turo. That is the same car rental company that was used by the suspect in New Orleans. Now, as is standard, according to this source, they are seeing if there is a connection between the New Orleans attack and this explosion, but as of this writing, they have not yet found a connection.
I want to highlight that. They have not yet found a connection at the time that I'm making this video. This is all still a developing story that I will keep you guys updated on. And we even have a video of the Cybertruck blowing up outside of Trump Tower. And I do want to say I made an insensitive remark about this being somewhat symbolic on Twitter and in a video earlier, and I totally regret that. I would not have made that insensitive remark if I knew that this was an intentional attack and that somebody had lost their lives. Just to zoom out for a second, I think both of these events remind us of the fragility of our society and how quickly we can become consumed by political divisiveness. And yes, you can blame it on one side or the other. I think it was disgusting that Trump immediately tried to exploit this New Orleans attack and say that it was an immigrant when it was not. The New Orleans attack was committed by somebody who grew up, who was born in Beaumont, Texas, and Trump lied about that. But it's not even about politics. I don't even want to make it about politics. I want to touch on some broader themes that I think are important, because I've had 2 words at the top of my head today. One of them has been gratitude, and the other one is potential. Let's start off with gratitude. I think, and this is going to make people mad, but we are fortunate to live in a nation with opportunities that other nations don't have. We have freedoms that other nations aren't afforded, resources that other nations don't have, and yes, we have a lot of flaws with our healthcare system and with our politicians, but we should be grateful for our blessings, if you want to call them that, because we have a responsibility to uphold these things and to embody the values that we want to see. We should foster unity, and we should reject the divisiveness that has weakened our shared humanity and has weakened our empathy thus far. Again, the New Orleans attack was almost immediately weaponized by certain media figures, certain media outlets, certain political figures were already trying to exploit that to spread misinformation, and we should push back on that. Constantly push back on Fox News when they are spreading lies. We should be leading by example every single day and showing people what it's like to be a good American. Because if you think the other side is failing to do that, the onus then falls on us. And the second word was potential. I mean, it goes hand in hand with what I was just saying. America has the potential to be so much better. We have such a good foundation, but the fact that sometimes kids can't go to school without worrying about being shot, the fact that I'm going to be scared to be in crowds for the next few months after this is not a good indicator of where we're headed. And I truly believe the onus is on all of us to lead by example. We live in a country with an incredible amount of potential. Our culture, our opportunities, our innovation should make America a beacon of possibility. I mean, I'm not even joking. If you've been to another country over the past few years, they'll be playing movies from Hollywood largely. If you get in a taxi in another country, they'll be playing songs from the US. So my point here is that other countries look to our culture and they try to replicate that. Other countries play Hollywood movies. Hollywood movies are popular across the globe, not just Hollywood, because America should be a beacon of what could be. We even see shootings being recreated in other countries after they were popularized in America through Columbine. So whether it's an act of political violence or political polarization, I think we all need to rise above the partisan conflict and work together to create a society where everyone feels safe, valued, and heard. And again, I don't want to bring this back to politics, but Trump didn't do that today. He immediately tried to exploit the tragedy for his own personal and political gain. So as we reflect on what happened today, on January 1st, 2025, the first day of the year, I think we should, number one, remember the victims and their families, but the best way to honor them will be by remembering them and by also rejecting the forces that seek to divide us and have brought us to where we are today. And whether these forces are Trump and Republicans, or whether you think it's the establishment, or even if you're a Republican and you think it's the deep state, even if you're the biggest Republican in the world, we should reject the division that has been hurting Americans every single day. Because again, the elite do like when we're divided. It helps them have control over us. We should reject this division and try to embrace unity. And I get that that's hard. I get that it's hard when we look at the other side and we think that they hate us and the other side thinks that we hate them. And also, we don't even know for certain what these people's intentions were. I'm not saying that ISIS terrorist attacks are connected to American political division, but they are in a way. In a way, the world has gotten increasingly dangerous over the past few years, and we are, in some respects, living in a great time. There is an Obama quote from 2016 where Obama says, if you had to choose to be born at any time in the world, any place in the world, you wouldn't choose the 1600s. You probably wouldn't choose the 1400s. You would choose here and now, and you would likely choose to be in America in this current day and age. So we need to build towards what we want to see. So even though the world does seem to be getting more dangerous every single day, we should be grateful for the time that we live in, and we should understand the potential that America has. We should understand that America has a lot of potential if we can capitalize on it. And again, some of this lies on foreign adversaries. I do think Russia is actively trying to divide us. I do think that people across the political aisle always are using bombastic rhetoric. I won't name any names, but the onus then should be on the American citizens to lead by example. And I do this in some of my videos. I try to have very respectful conversations with Trump supporters. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I would go to so many Trump rallies with the sole intention of reaching across the aisle and trying to create unity. So I guess I didn't realize it then, but that's a decent example of trying to lead by example and show people that you can have these conversations in a better way. And just to take a step back, unity does not mean uniformity. So just because we're united as a country doesn't mean we have to agree on everything. It doesn't mean we have to see the world through the same exact lens, but what it does mean is committing to the principles of mutual respect, empathy, collaboration, having empathy when you see an attack and not immediately trying to make it about immigrants, even though immigrants have nothing to do with it. So I'm going to leave it at that. All the stories are still developing, and again, sorry for making that insensitive remark about that being symbolic. I wouldn't have done that if I knew that it was an attack. I'll keep you guys updated. Love you guys, for real. Love you guys. Happy New Year, sort of, and peace out.